How can you expect to gain closure from someone that lied to you and disrespected you? If they couldn't respect and care for your heart during the relationship, what makes you believe they will suddenly honor your healing now? True closure comes from reclaiming your power, from choosing to validate your own pain, to stop chasing explanations from a person that hurt you. Waiting on someone else to grant you clarity keeps you stagnant on your healing journey because your healing is dependent on them being honest, willingness to talk, or to show up emotionally. Closure can simply be you choosing yourself, you making a decision to detach from them and to detach from the version of the story that you keep circling back to, which is keeping you stuck. Closure can be you deciding that it really doesn't matter if you ever really meant anything to him, that it doesn't matter if he ever really loves you, because you've decided that regardless, it wasn't enough for you. It's you deciding that you no longer want to participate in the type of love that he gives. So if you're wondering where I'm reading from, that is from one of my quotes on my Threads account, or you can find it on my Instagram account. I've been that girl too. And I also do have books out with my quotes and a book about my story when I was in a toxic relationship that is also available on Kindle Unlimited now. So if you have a membership on Kindle Unlimited, you can read my books for free now. So excited about that. And also, I am going to be working on new books. I am working on book two to Toxic X Chronicles that will be coming out this year. And it'll also be on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm also working on like a new self-help type of book to put you in your feels. If you're liking the feel of my podcast and my quotes and things like that, check out my new book that'll also be coming out this year as well. And that'll also be on Kindle Unlimited as well. All my books from moving forward are going to be on Kindle Unlimited. So, yeah. Now that we've gotten it out the way, let's talk more about closure on this podcast episode. When you really think about it, you are not really wanting closure from that ex that hurt you, that disrespected you, that mistreated you, that just left you hanging high and dry, that loved you and then decided not to love you. You're not really looking for closure from that. You're looking for the love that they didn't give, or the love that they was given and stopped. You're looking for a change in them. You're looking for them to say, yes, I want you back. Yes, I've always loved you. You're looking for something that just cannot be found in someone like that. And it's not really closure when you think about it like that, is it? I've been there. I get it. I really wanted closure. I really just wanted to know that my ex actually did care about me and actually did love me. I wanted to know that I wasn't a fool. I wanted to know that he didn't play me like that. I wanted to know that the love was actually real that he had for me in the beginning. I wanted closure on those things. But as time moved on, I first realized that I was never going to get closure from him. And I also realized that his type of love was love that I didn't need, was love that was not good enough for me. It doesn't matter if he really did or did not. I had to come to the conclusion that if that was his love, like he can say all day long, I really did love you, which sometimes he would say. And if that's what he considers love, then that's not love that I need. And so that's why I say that closure really comes from you. It comes from you reclaiming your power and you honoring your truths and the truth of the whole situation. Like you have to stop the fantasy that you had for you and him. You can no longer look at that, because the longer you look at that fantasy of what you thought was or what you really wanted it to be, the longer you are going to be grappling for closure, the longer you are not going to be able to heal, the longer you are going to keep going back to that same story, that same scenario in your head, and be stuck there because you're going in a loop. The longer you're going to be angry, the longer you're just not going to be able to move on from that. Let's just say that your ex does come back for closure, to give you closure. Let's say if he says he wants to have a conversation with you and he comes back and wants to talk it out with you, can you really trust anything that he is going to tell you? Can you really trust that he is going to be honest? Can you really trust that he is going to be emotionally mature enough and have enough emotional intelligence to actually have a real conversation with you? Do you really believe that he is going to be able to hold himself accountable? Yes, you may argue that some men do grow and change, and sometimes they will come back and do that. I've had an ex that did that, but that relationship wasn't that toxic. It was one of my first little teenage high school loves that I had. He did come back after some time and apologize. But still, more than likely, you are not going to get that man that you would want to come back and give you that closure. He just doesn't have it in him. Because if you think about it, if he so called had that in him, he wouldn't have done you like that. And if he comes back trying to say all the right things, can you really trust it? And not only can you trust him, can you trust yourself to not try again with him? Can you trust yourself to continue to maintain your self-respect, your boundaries, your self-love, all these things that you probably have started working on because you decided to give up on him and decided to not seek closure anymore and decided that it wasn't worth it and decided to just move on. You slowly start putting your life back together. Then here he comes back. Can you trust yourself to not run back to him? Can you trust yourself to not want to keep trying again? Can you trust yourself? Is also what you have to realize. So maybe getting closure is something that really you don't need. You are trying to move away from that and above that into something better. And so what happens when we are stuck in our healing is that our brain is trying to make sense of the situation, because let's say if it ended abruptly, or he was suddenly into you and then suddenly not, or he love bombed you and then suddenly acted like he didn't have anything to do with you. Let's say if that's what happened. Your brain naturally, how you're wired, is going to play the situation over and over again because there is no end story. There is no real ending to that. So yes, closure is definitely needed. I am going to say that. But I'm going to say that closure from the person that hurt you is not going to help you. It might, but you can't count on it. You can only count on yourself and your closure. So after you're done replaying the whole relationship in your head, replaying what happened, trying to replay what went wrong, what you could have done differently. You're replaying the scenarios over and over in your head, the ways that he hurt you, and you're just left feeling confused and feeling like he never loved you. You're stuck on that. What you're going to do is you're going to end the story yourself. You are going to put an end point to it. You are going to, I would guess you would say, like, compile a story or compile an ending that makes sense to you, that also honors your truths. Instead of you trying to figure out his truths, because to be honest, he probably don't even know if he loved you for real. He probably don't even know what his real feelings are. He has so much within him going on that he has to fix. How are you going to expect someone like him to come along and help you gain closure? He needs his own closure on who he is as a man. So you can't bank on that, but you can bank on yourself. You can put the closure and the endpoint to your brain playing that on a loop. And you have to trust that that's the truth. You have to trust your own word and trust your own mind and understand that this is it. This is what happened. You don't need anyone else to confirm it or validate it. You are enough to validate your ending to that story. I truly feel like that's why it's hard for some of us to really gain closure, because we are unable, or we feel like we can't validate our own truths. We feel like that if it's coming from us in our mind and what we are compiling about what happened, that, and then we have to validate it ourselves, we feel like that's just not enough. And we need the validation from him or some outside source to tell us that we're right to feel how we feel. But how you feel is always true. When you follow your intuition, you are always right. So you must understand that you don't need anyone else to validate how you felt in that connection. So I guess that the silver lining in this, with you accepting closure for yourself and validating your own experience and your own closure, is also learning to trust your mind, your intuition, and to validate yourself. Self-validation is very powerful. You don't need anyone to tell you that you were disrespected in that connection, that you were hurt, that you were 1 minute loved and the next minute not loved, that you were left feeling confused, that you were left feeling unloved. You don't need anyone to validate that experience for you. You can validate it enough because you felt like that in it. Someone else can say, oh, you should have been happy with that because he was doing that and the other. Just throwing like an example out there. but you are the one that's going to validate that. And so your closure comes from understanding that this doesn't match my standards. This doesn't match what I really want for myself. I don't know what he had going on and why he was behaving the way that he was and why he treated me like that. But I know that I deserve better and I did not deserve to be treated in that way. Like, for example, with my ex, I wanted so bad for him to come back and just basically like spill his heart out to me and tell me how much he really did love me and how he's so sorry for hurting me, that he was wrong for everything he did and all of that. You know, I would have loved for that to be my closure, but it never happened. I would hear through the grapevine, through our mutual friends, that he was still blaming me for pressuring him into marriage when he is the one that talked about it and wanted it as well. And actually, I'm so glad we didn't get married because it was toxic. But anyway, that's another story. So I wanted him to so bad to come back and you know, tell me his true feelings, because I felt like he was hiding his true feelings, or I felt like he was so damaged beyond that. But it never happened. And my closure from that came to me realizing that that's not the type of man for me. That's not the type of man that I want with me. That's not the type of man that I want, quote unquote, loving me. That's not the type of man that I just want to be associated with. If he cannot say his true feelings, if he is not emotionally intelligent enough to not disrespect me because he's hurting and he has his own trauma, if he can't heal through any of that, he's not the man for me. And so I feel like when you declare that regardless, that's not the man for me, that reclaims your power, because it's like now instead of you wondering how he felt about you, you are setting it in stone how you now feel about him. It doesn't matter what you two did have. Look at how he left you. And so when you look at it that way, it's like now you are raising your value up and his value is decreasing to you, because you now realize that that's not someone that you want anyway. Your closure is you accepting that he wasn't the man for you. The disrespect is the closure. The way he treated you is the closure. Sorry to say this, but more than likely that man is not going to come back and spill his guts out to you about how much he really did love you. And like I said before, even if he did, can you really trust it? You're not going to trust it. You think you will. I think what it is if our mind is still in that loop about what happened, and we want just that love and validation from him that we never got, and we just want that so bad, we're going to tell ourselves that oh yeah, I would want it. I would want it if he came back. But you are not going to want something that you had to beg so hard for and wait so long for and try to you know, pull out of him. You are not going to want that. You say you will, but once it's in your face and he's back, you are going to have your guard up. You are not going to trust it. So sometimes I think we're not really real with ourselves. We're just really feeling the feelings and feeling the burnt of being discarded like that. We feel that, and so we think that that's going to heal it and that that's going to make it better. We can't understand that us reclaiming our power and making and building a story around our own closure is as powerful, if not more powerful than that. You cannot gain closure from the same person that hurt you. You can't gain closure from someone that disrespected you like that. So, yeah, the best thing for you to do is to gain it on your own. And I truly feel like that was the key to my healing. Was me honoring myself, my story, my feelings. It's like, because he couldn't do it. He couldn't honor how I felt. He couldn't honor all that I am. He couldn't even honor the love that I was pouring to him. And so it's like me gaining closure for myself not only helped me to reclaim my power, it helped me to discover and find myself and to trust my voice and to listen to myself and to validate myself. It's like I had that intuition before and all along. Even growing up, I had the intuition, but I felt like my situations and my upbringing and the people that I was around, all that stripped me of me listening to my voice and my intuition. And so after that situation, after, breaking up with exes that I wanted to be with so badly, that ended up doing me so badly, I had no choice but to listen to myself and to listen to my voice about things, because that I could trust, that I knew was right, that his voice I could not. And so that really got me more into honoring myself, my voice, and my intuition. And so it's like after that, moving forward into like dating again and newer relationships, oh, I was equipped. I was ready. It's like, yes, dating wasn't easy after those relationships, but I felt like that my intuition was like top notch now because I knew that it was right and I trusted myself that much more after reclaiming my power from gaining closure on my own. You see how that like actually helps you in the long run? And so I would date and I would be able to tell from like the beginning if these guys were really about something or not. Like it just changed everything. So allow yourself to process and to heal. Don't worry about what he has going on. He may have moved on and he may be with someone new, living life like he ain't did nothing to you, like he has nothing to heal from, and he believe he doesn't. Oh well. You focus on you and you focus on regaining your strength and regaining your power as well. And the best way to do that is to seek closure for yourself, for you to finish the story yourself in your head. What also could help is you determining what you would like to say to him instead of you thinking about what you need him to say to you. And you can do that by simply writing a letter that you are not going to give him or writing in your journal about all the things that you would have liked to have said to him or need to say to him. And that can also help you to release it as well. So, yeah. I hope that helped you all with understanding closure and also can help you heal a bit instead of waiting on someone to give you closure, because to wait on someone else for you to heal is not good for you. And you deserve better than that. You deserve to move on and not be stuck in that waiting on them while they're off doing whatever and not even really caring about you like that. So I hope this helped. As always, you can check the link. My link has changed. You can check the link in the description for like my books and my coaching and things like that. And also check out my Healing Sundays episode that comes out every Sunday. That will be up this Sunday. So until the next time, girlfriends, peace out.
Excuse me, can I please talk to you for a minute?